Here I have two polynomials and I want to divide them. How do I go about doing that? Dividing polynomials works exactly the same as dividing regular numbers. So we just set up a division problem like we would for regular numbers. And this looks really complicated and tricky, but it's not. It works exactly like regular numbers. What we need to do is find what number do I have to multiply my first coefficient over here in order to equal x to the fifth, just like regular division. And then we're going to subtract that out. So if I look over here, I have an x squared and I need it to be equal to x to the fifth. So in order for it to be equal to x to the fifth, I'm going to have to multiply it by x cubed. So I multiply x cubed by my divisor. I multiply x cubed times, I multiply it times x squared, I multiply it times x, and then I multiply it times 1. So let's do that. So I get x cubed times x squared, that's x to the fifth. X cubed times minus x, that's minus x to the fourth. X cubed times positive 1, that's positive x cubed. And now I just subtract out like a regular division problem. So these x to the fifths are gone. We have no x to the fourth here to subtract out. This is like plus 0 x to the fourth. You can write those in if you wish, but I tend to get confused by the more numbers are, and I tend to mix them up, so I don't like writing in numbers. But you can put them there if you like. If this is easier for you, you can write x to the fifth plus 0x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 0x plus 7. You can write it out like that if you want. If you tend to misplace numbers by accident, some people might prefer that. I don't like it personally. But you can do that if you wish, if you forget sometimes. Some people it's better for. But anyways, so we don't have an x to the fourth, so we have minus x to the fourth. So that's going to leave us with a positive x to the fourth. And then here we have minus x cubed. Over here we have 4x cubed. That's going to leave us with positive 3x cubed. And now that I've subtracted everything else that I can subtract, I bring the rest of the terms down, so plus 2x squared and plus 7. It's exactly the same as regular division. Now I repeat the process again. What do I have to multiply my divisor by in order to equal x to the fourth? Well, I have x squared, so what I can do is multiply it by positive x squared as well. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. So now I multiply x squared by everything in my divisor. So I get x to the fourth. I go to the next term, minus x cubed. I go to the next term, plus x squared. And then I subtract out again. As x to the fourths are gone, we have a positive 3x cubed and a minus. And remember, this is a minus. A minus is distributed to everything. I prefer writing the minus sign like this. Some people prefer to distribute the minus sign right away. You just have to find your particular style of solving problems. There's no really one correct way I can say one way is better than the other. People just have different tastes. So you can distribute this minus sign already if you like, and then just do an addition problem. I do a subtraction. But anyways, we have minus x cubed. So this is going to turn into a plus sign, and we're going to get 4x cubed. And then we have a minus positive x squared. We have 2x squared up here, so that's going to leave us with just 1x squared. And now we bring down this positive 7. And now we need to figure out what multiplied by x squared is going to give us 4x cubed. 4x times x squared gives us 4x cubed. So we type put in 4x up here. 4x times everything in the divisor again. It's just the same thing over and over again. 4x cubed, and 4x times minus x, that's minus 4x squared, and 4x times plus 1 is plus 4x. Subtract out. These x cubes cancel. Minus a 4x squared, that's going to be a positive 4x squared, and up here we have a positive x squared. That will leave us 5x squared positive. We have minus 4x, and over here we don't have any x terms, so that's just going to subtract down, and then we have our 7 here. Now we need to figure out how to get 5x squared from x squared, and we can do that by multiplying this by 5. So plus 5. Now this whole divisor is multiplied by 5. So we get 5x squared, and then we had a minus x, so minus 5x, and then we had a plus 1 at the end, so 5 times that, so plus 5. And now we subtract out. These cancel, these x squareds cancel, minus a minus 5x, that's going to turn into a plus 5x, minus 4x up here, that's going to leave us 1x, minus 5 to a plus 7, that's going to leave us with positive 2. And now we're left with x plus 2, but x squared is a larger power than just x, so it cannot divide into it evenly, because this is x squared is greater than x. So this here is a remainder. A remainder. So we can write this out as, well, there's a couple of ways we can write it. We can write it as x cubed plus x squared plus 4x plus 5, and we can either just say remainder, or just put remainder is equal to x plus 2, or we can write it out the, I guess, the truly algebraic way. We can let me rewrite it down here since there's not enough room. And that would be the same as x cubed plus x squared plus 4x plus 5. And instead of writing just remainder x plus 2, we can write the remainder like this: x plus 2 over x squared minus x plus 1. And this is the same thing as this, it's just divided out. And this remainder is the same as, it's just a different way of writing the remainder. I'm writing in the remainder here as part of the function. Over here we're saying this is what divided out and the remainder was this. Here we're including the remainder. We're writing the remainder as x plus 2 over, I know it's a little bit crammed over there, so let me rewrite it. It's x plus 2 over x squared minus x plus 1.